which is the next homework problem. It says determine the density of a metal that has a mass of 445.32 grams sorry, that's a typo, and dimensions of 3.3 centimeters, 4.5 centimeters, and 4.2 centimeters. Search the internet for the identity of this metal. This question requires you to upload your work here. Please submit your work as a PDF file. So what you're going to do is, you're going to have the question either printed out or written out so I know which question it is. And then you're going to do your work, and then you're going to submit your work as a PDF file for this particular question, and I will grade it. That's so I can see your work. So much of chemistry, it is important to see how you're solving it as well, so I can comment on it. Now, the density of a metal, and this is something that was covered in the lecture outlines. Always good to cover it again, though. Density of a metal is going to be lowercase d, and yeah, so in the chat, homework 0212, I will do that next. Density equals lowercase d, and it's going to equal mass over volume, where volume is typically capital V. So I'll write it with a capital V there, so M over V. And let's see. We have our mass in grams, so we can plug that in right away, but I won't do that yet because I need to find my volume. Volume for an object is going to be one dimension times the other times the third dimension, so it's going to be 3.3 centimeters times 4.5 centimeters times 4.2 centimeters. That'll be my volume. Let me go ahead and multiply that out. Let's see. 3.3 times 4.5 times 4.2, 62.37, and that's going to be units of centimeters times centimeters times centimeters, or centimeters cubed, and that's our good units of volume. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and calculate my density. It's going to be mass divided by volume. It's going to be 445.32. Those are grams over 62.37 centimeters cubed. And then multiplying that out, I get 445.32 divided by 62.37. I get 7.14 grams per centimeter cubed. What you need to then do is search the internet for the identity of this metal. What has worked well for me is just typing in density metal 7.14 grams per centimeter cubed. That seems to work pretty well. Or you can also do list density metals. And then, of course, you'll get a list, and you'll just have to find one with 7.14. There may be a couple different choices that are close to it. Pick the closest one. If there are two that are even, you can either just pick one of them or pick and write down that both of them are very close. What I will do is, so that's the nice thing about the file upload, is I'll be able to see what it is. Then if there's any questions, I can Google it myself. And but that's the process for this. Are there any questions about this problem? So this, I guess there has to be a name of a metal down here, but I won't Google it. I trust that most people are comfortable Googling things, but the homework in the chemistry is the tougher part.
Hey, quick question for you.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you off. You had mentioned you wanted us to print out the question for each homework question. I didn't do that for homework 01. I know going forward, but that's how you want us to do it going forward. Have the question at the top and then list the work at the bottom. The last homework, I just did the work and submitted it for that question.
So for the file upload problems, I would like to see the question, and that's because everybody has a different question.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so and they're all related, definitely. Like if somebody else did this problem, they would have different numbers for the mass and the sizes, um, but they'd have the same type of problem generally. So yes,
Okay.
and for homework one, if it's an issue, I will go and find the problem that you have, but it really makes it much simpler if you can either type it out or cut and paste it or um, just write it out. And
Okay.
it doesn't have to be, I guess, the entire problem, but for this problem, you would need the mass and the dimensions at least written down.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay.